sure the sound is turned up because it is not. I think we're good. Okie dokie. Okay, hi, we're live. I hope everyone is having a good day, a good week. It is day 9 of 21 for 21 days of celebration. I am grateful today for my body. And there were quite a few times over my life where I honestly could say that that was not the case. Um, I know a lot of us kind of have a love hate or even hate relationship with our bodies, for our bodies. But I think one thing that is fundamentally misunderstood about our bodies and how they work and how things are impacted um, by the body is our our body responds to our environment, and our body is talking to us all day every day. And actually, I should have said this first. And our body simply wants to support us. Our body is just waiting to support us and actually just supports us all day, every day without us having to ask. Like the act of breathing, the act of the heart pumping and the blood circulating and the lymph flowing. And, well, maybe not lymph because lymph isn't automatic, but lymph is a bad example. But all the chemicals flowing to where they need to flow and the hormones and all the, it all happens without us having to ask. Like it just is there and it just happens and it just supports us. Now, sometimes those things don't happen in the way that we would like them to, but our body reacts to the things that are going on a lot of times in our environment, whether it is seen or unseen. And sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't. But I will say that I think the body is a magnificent, just amazing apparatus and machine, like the ultimate machine of machines, and just is amazing, like the ultimate computer, the ultimate machine. And I think for that reason, I have so much more respect, love, compassion, understanding, admiration for my body and our bodies and what they go through, what they're capable of doing, the healing that is possible, the growth, the strength, the just magic that is possible when we are in tune with our body, when we actually have a relationship with our body. And the reason why I am just at the point where I can say I am grateful for my body and grateful for the relationship that I have now with my body is because for the longest time I didn't have one. I, you know, grew up as an athlete. I was always very active, multiple sports and dance and all the things as a youth, even into college. And I took for granted the fact that my body would kind of always just do its thing. You're on the soccer field because I was a goalie for a long time. Soccer and volleyball were the two sports that I ended up, but soccer was the one that I played the longest. And I had several injuries as a goalie, including a couple concussions. But you know, you're on the field, you hurt an ankle, you get injured, you go through therapy, you have some painkillers, and the body repairs itself. You come back, sometimes better than before. Taking for granted the fact that there might come a day where you don't bounce back, or there's something that you may or may not bounce back from the same way. And I know for many years I didn't think of anything that could happen to my body that I wouldn't be able to recover from. And still to this day, I do still believe that, but there's a little bit of a 8 to 10 year kind of window in there where it was a little iffy. But there isn't anything that we can't recover from. And the the things that we go through in our lives definitely make us think. So, one of the biggest things that made me think, and makes me think every day constantly, is so I was always very gentle with myself when I had an injury or even surgeries. I've had a few surgeries, and I always just didn't. I didn't want the pain. I didn't want to hurt myself even further. So I was always like very ginger and safe with myself. And I remember when I actually had ankle surgery. So I had ankle surgery in middle school. And I just remember being just a big old wuss about it because some of the pain was just unbearable. But it was something that I was able to deal with and recover from because I was able to listen to some instructions and get to the other side of, that situation. Similarly, in, let's see, that was middle school. Let's see, where are we now? I'm trying to like do a mental timeline real quick and I keep jumping timelines. um, in middle school, that happened. And up until that point, I hadn't really had anything very serious go on. Fast forward, maybe 20 years, um, there was another something that happened. So I started experiencing some different things with my body. And for anyone that's had any sort of kind of illness or diagnosis, you kind of know when something's happening and you may go to the doctor, you might not go to the doctor, but you kind of just you deal with it. So I was the deal with it type of person because I was, the person who figured things out. I was the strong one. I was the one who had all of the answers. I was the one who tended to everyone else and kind of, held down the fort because all was well. So secretly, all was not well. And I actually ended up receiving a diagnosis of an autoimmune disorder in 2012 when I was finally over myself and went to the doctor. And my life had actually turned upside down before then because I had like adapted some things to get to that point. And then after like hearing the words that I heard, then it kind of flipped up and flipped up and flipped up. But there's a good end to this story. Well, there's a good journey and then there's a good end to the story. So I did that. That happened in 2012. And I ended up being tested on several different medications to just get the right, pill mixture for my body to operate correctly, normally. And we figured that out, and for, I don't know, 6 years, things were fine. I took the pills, my body was responding, all was well. My life was back to, some semblance of normal because I created a new life. But although my body was responding, I still wasn't healthy. I still felt like something was off. There was still more that I was supposed to find out. There was still more that I was meant to achieve. There were more answers. And because I am who I am, I'm just like innately curious. Like, I want to know all the things all the time. I will look something up in a heartbeat. That's why, I have somewhat of a reputation of having answers, is just because I'm always really curious about stuff. So when it comes to my own health, when it comes to my own my body and understanding how the body works and how things interact with it, like that spark was just ignited into almost like a forest fire. About 6 years in to, actually 5 years in to this autoimmune journey. So I'd been looking for answers, looking for answers, looking for answers. And I was told I would be on pills the rest of my life. I didn't accept it, but I was like, okay, cool. If that's the opinion that I need to adopt for however many years, then that's what I'm going to adopt. But I'm not actually going to have that happen, so we're going to figure out a way to work this out. So, like I said, 5 years, we go through whatever we go through, flip the world upside down, and the body's responding. I had started doing some things in my life that I had stopped doing as a result of my body doing what it was doing. And then some things started to change. Then some things started to change because I started reconnecting with certain people that I hadn't seen in years. And then I started getting opportunities to do things that I had never done before. So remember how I was talking about emotions and the Reiki, that I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, let me try out this thing. And then I was crying spontaneously for like 3 days. That's the beginning of the turning point. Because my body had been holding on to things that it didn't need to hold on to. And that was the beginning of the release process. I didn't know it, but that was the beginning of the release process. And the more that I started to learn a little bit more, particularly about energy healing, but more about nutrition and alternative medicine and plant-based medicine and oils and things like that, I started to realize how much differently my body could respond to those things that, rather than what I had been doing by way of, pills and treatment and whatever else I was doing. So my body, in a way, was leading me to an alternative pathway. And I found it. I followed and found it. So 6 years in, so now after another year, my body started talking again, saying, you know what? It's time for change. It's time for more change. And we want something different here. And that something different was, I no longer want to be on medication. This is not for us. I know what the doctor said. I know what, other people have told you. I know the people that you've talked to. I know the stories and the beliefs and all these things that are ingrained into everything that everyone around you has told you. But we no longer want this. So there started another journey, another process to figure out what life looked like, not reliant on these things that I had been reliant on for 5 years, for 6 years at this point. So it was ugly. It was ugly. I'm not even going to lie to you. It was ugly. But by way of strong community, by way of thinking out of the box and creativity and being ready, willing, and able to try anything and everything for myself, for my body, actually building my intuition and accepting that I actually have amazing intuition and I'm pretty magical, was able to not only turn my life around again, because I started building a relationship with my body, but I think I've been off pills for 2 years. Almost, it'll be 2 years in August. Significant diet changes, weight changes, Mental health changes, absolutely yes. Completely different relationships, completely different community and tribe and support system, completely different career, completely different, completely different, completely different. Because my body said it needed something different, and I had to find that voice and then learn how to listen to it. And I talk to my body now all day, every day. I tell my body, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for getting me up the stairs. Thank you for waking me up. Thank you for, allowing me to walk safely. Thank you for digesting the food. Thank you for, thank you for, thank you for it, because I now know that when I was healthy, young, vibrant, strong, energetic, like all those things, my body was supporting me. When I was at my lowest of lows, bawling in tears, face in the pillow, not wanting to do anything, my body was supporting me. I couldn't see that in that time, but my body was supporting me. And for that, I have to be grateful. For that, I have to say thank you. And now, when I go up the stairs, when I go for the walk, when I eat the food, when I exercise, I say thank you, body, because my body is supporting me. Now, does it look the same way as it used to? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But we're getting there. And it is a process, it is a journey. And I'm learning all about my body in a whole new way each day, like each and every day. I'm learning more about what foods my body responds well to and what it doesn't, what exercise my body likes versus not, what self care my body wants versus not. All these things have turned into, like, it's almost a game because constantly, asking, checking in, experimenting. Do we want this fruit? Do we want this vegetable? Do we want this ice cream? Do we want this cake? Like, those are valid questions. And being willing to have that as a way of operating, have that as a state of being versus in the victimhood that I was in, because I'll tell you, I was very, very, very much in victimhood. I didn't pitch a tent. We like had a solid concrete foundation and like built a house in victim because I wanted to know why that was happening to me. What did I do to deserve that? What, who did I piss off to have my world flipped upside down? But I know today that that actually wasn't the case at all. It was about me finding my voice. It was about me developing a relationship with my body so I can then show others how to do that for themselves. It was about me getting on my path of healer and catalyst and helper so I could shed the layers that I needed to shed to uncover who I am, start to love myself, and build that self-worth and acceptance and the confidence and the compassion and the grace and all those things I've talked about, so I could get that because it wasn't there. So I could get that and figure out who I was underneath all the layers of everyone else's stuff, build from there, and then step out to help. And help people walk through the same mess. So they don't have to have, the days bawling on the floor or head in the pillow on the couch or, lying about why you can't do an activity because you have the shame of a label of a medical diagnosis and you don't want someone to know. And that's real. I was actually watching what was I watching? I was watching an old episode of America's Next Top Model. Don't judge me. And one of the contestants said that she had lupus and she was feeling run down and she didn't want to tell anybody because of the just the nature of the condition, and she didn't want people feeling sorry for her. She didn't want to be taken out of the competition because it was something that meant so much to her. It was just, lifelong dream. So she hid it. She kept it under wraps. And you could tell she didn't feel good, and it ended up being fine for her because I think she ended up telling people, but it was such the internal battle, it was such the internal struggle that she was going through, because for her it was a mark of shame, it was a mark of weakness, it was a mark of people offering pity and maybe not understanding. And I know that. I felt that. I did the exact same thing, because as the strong one, as the one who had answers, as the one who held it all together for everyone else, I couldn't be the one who was weak. I couldn't be the one who had, something wrong with them. And oftentimes I looked fine, but I felt awful. And how do you explain to people something that you don't fully understand yourself? Well, you don't, you hide it. And hearing her tell her story really, 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 really resonated with me, because, like I said, I did the same thing. It was a mark of shame. It was not a badge of honor. It was a mark of shame, because I didn't fully accept what was going on for a number of years. And it wasn't until I accepted what was going on, confronted it face on, got help from people who loved and cared and wanted to nurture and help me heal. It wasn't until then where I could actually look at what was going on and find out the conversation that my body was trying to have with me for so many years of, you need to step back, you need to slow down, you need to use your voice, you need to love yourself, you're worth more than that, you deserve more than that. We're not happy, you're not happy, why don't you say it? It's like all of these things that my body, my physical body, was trying to tell me, but I refused to listen. And when I started to shift that perspective of, okay, well, I actually can do something about this, show me the steps, that was when the steps, the people, the opportunities, the connections, like everything started to present itself. And slowly, I was able to start making those shifts, and then start to feel better, and then understand, and then ultimately shift from that victimhood to victory. As cliche as that sounds, it's true, because now I know that having this experience, it's not something to be ashamed of. I don't wear the shame. I don't wear the shame at all, because I understand that my body was trying to tell me something, and it was up to me whether I wanted to do something about it, listen, take action, or stay in the same place. So now that I'm on that side of it, not fully, landed at a destination, because there's still so much more work to do and so much more to understand. But from that victim place, now I can say I am grateful to have gone through what I've gone through, what I've been through. I'm grateful to my body for showing me so many different things and connecting me to people and helping me understand and heal, because I wouldn't be able to do what I do today had it not been for this experience. I wouldn't have gotten into energy healing. I wouldn't have gotten into coaching. I wouldn't have gotten into, anything with the body. I mean, I've always loved the body, but now I understand why. I had to understand how the body operated and fully appreciate just the physiology that goes on all up in here, to be able to understand, okay, when this goes wrong, this and this and this is impacted. And energetically, this can also have an impact too, and this is the result. To understand that for me, and then to then help other people, that's why I had to go through this. And that's why I'm okay with it. That's why I'm actually grateful. So our bodies are amazing. Our bodies are talking to us and they want to support us just unconditionally. And our bodies want us to know that there's communication that's ready, willing, and able to happen if you are ready, willing, and able for it to happen. If you're willing to put in the work, to connect, to listen. And like I said, I thank my body all day, every day. Whether we show up at 100%, and I say that 100%, like we want to, or we show up at 30% and it's like, you know what, today's a couch day. Today's just a go for a walk and chill day. All of that is okay, because if that's what the body needs to heal and go through whatever it's going through, then that's what it needs. No judgment. No judgment. So I'm grateful for my body today, because as I reflect daily, as I move through my days, I know what I've been through. I know what others go through and don't let anybody know. I know the pain and the suffering that happens behind closed doors, but I know that we come out on the other side as strong and capable and confident and competent. And I know healing is possible. And I know that my body supports that all day, every day. And little things, like I said, from going for a walk to walking upstairs to digesting food to hardcore, Taibo and dance and all sorts of things. My body supports me as much as I will support it and listen when it says something is wrong. So I'm grateful for my body for allowing that two-way communication and for giving me cues as to what it needs, and that it allows me to have the information that I need to give it what it needs. So I'm thanking my body today. I'm grateful for my body today. So I ask you, are you grateful for your body today? Even if it's just for getting up. Even if you're in pain or, something happened and it doesn't feel 100%, can you still say you are grateful for your body? Or, on medication or have a chronic illness or, something. Can you still say, I am grateful? And if not, what would it take for you to have that perspective shift so you could say yes? That is my question to you. But first, I do want you to know that your body does support you, and it is just waiting for you to listen, potentially in a new way. So I'm grateful for my body today, and I hope you are grateful for yours too.